Hello guys, Dark Prometheus here. Welcome back to some more Steel Division 2. Playing with the Soviets today, still on Lenova. Or no, not Lenova, but Lenina? Probably mispronouncing that. I am terrible with names. This is what we're going with, the 29th Tank Corps. Not completely what we have. There is some changes that I've made after the fact. And I'm still learning the game, so things about commands, how things work, I am still trying to figure out. So without further ado, let's get into this one because it is a hot and heavy one. I did learn a lot of stuff with it, but as you can see here, a lot of games played. Before I'd play this, it was 2019, and I've had more defeats than victories in this. So the only entertaining ones are the victories, only because of the fact of I didn't get my ass kicked. So we'll see how this works. Here we are. We're gonna be on the left side here. So I thought to myself, I'm going to play in this area. I didn't realize, like, obviously I need amphibious units here. I figured someone would push across. Try to do something cheeky. Well, that never actually happened. So that's one thing. On top of it, I kind of try to help out here. And then this guy starts getting pushed really hard. We're on the left, so we kind of do help over here. But what we're coming through first, we are T-34 85 Reshetnikov, probably was pronouncing that. It's our special tank. Coming through with a couple more 34 76s, the 1942 as the 76.2 mil. A couple of guns are going to come up into this island. I wasn't sure the line of sight over here. Ultimately, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, but hey, it happens. I'm going to bring up some Strelky in this area to kind of make sure there's no crossings. Of course, they don't do a crossing. And then through here, we're going to support this town portion with some tanks. They come out with an MG42 right on the lake. This 42 can't see the bridge. Of course, it's not going to do anything against these tanks. I'll put the tanks up here because I was thinking we're within 200 or 2000, but I didn't notice it at a 1500 range. So when I'm not hitting anything into the city, I'm not hitting any of this stuff because it's slightly out of range at that 1500 mark. So I start having to bring that up. The 85 though has a 1700, but again, maybe some, but I need to get this up into the fight. Essentially, they're infantry support tanks in a way. Is how I have to use them. We actually have some anti-air over in this direction, which will help. And then as we go through this, we're gonna move our tanks up and take this. Mosquito coming in with bombs. Gonna hit this Jaeger. Good bombing run. Kills the Jaeger. And then we're gonna bring up our tanks. They're gonna start taking some shots against this 42 and everything, and make sure that this bridge is clear. There is a 76. The 85 is gonna start pounding it now. We take out the vehicle, and this is why we want to do it. This 42 could stop any of these crossings, so we're going to take care of it. So that 42 is gone. I'll move those tanks in there. Now, this guy over here, not getting pounded as much, but eventually he gets double or triple teamed, and then we have to kind of reinforce him. This Sherman is so cool. Because amphibious Sherman, they're not all that great for tank wise, but it's amphibious Sherman. I think the model just looks cool. All right, we're gonna get some tanks up here, support this infantry push. Because we're seeing some tanks this time. It's a Stug. And I think these guys in here can do some work. So this actually has some command buffage. But I have to figure out how this one works compared to everything. I'm not sure if this works like a commander or if it's just a specialized tank. Because it is a tank leader, it has this. So it is a leader, it's just a 1-star leader. And it's not being buffed up by this one who's a commander. Okay. So if that was in range, it could double buff that. This would go to 2. That makes perfect sense to me right now. All right, we try to do something cheeky and just taking over this and put the Strelky across. Of course, this won't work because it's not a sufficient force. We'll bring up these T-34s. I see this Opel Blitz up here that's towing. Using an infantry gun. We kill the Opel Blitz, but of course the gun is not destroyed off that. Here comes a Pack 40 taking shots at our Su-57. Does have the 57 mil. We do get a gun jam. We can't actually see the Su-57 in total, so unfortunately that kind of sucks. We're trying to get the Zis-3 anti-tank gun. It's not going to be out there. It's a Nashorn that reinforces, and we're going to push these 3 tanks once our infantry support comes up. Here's our infantry leader. We're double boosting them because there's 2 leaders, I think. Yeah, because this rifle leader's not there. There's the MG42 again. Taking shots at the stew. We hit a side shot with our T-34s. Nashorn, we're going to take shots. We missed the first shot. And I don't know what killed the second one. I think it was this. I didn't notice that this is an indirect fire weapon. I realized it in a loss later in our next game. But yeah, it's an indirect fire weapon. They're gonna respond by hitting us with some actual good rocket strikes with their 109, or not 109s, but their 190s, their Fokker Wolves. So we do lose our leader there, but these are 1-star by themselves. So that begs the question, maybe that leader isn't doing as much as I normally do with. This pack over here though, this Pack 40 hits our tank, crew panics. We're gonna try to bail out of this area and try to get away from that. I do say, hey, there's a Pack 40 there. Our ally has the flag though, which is the entire point. We bring out some tanks here to try to take some shots against the Stug. We bounce here, so that's unfortunate. Our next shot bounces again. The Stug not even worried about anything but that. We miss it. Our ally is going to come through with some actual, is an A20. Couple more bounces. We're going to try to move up here. Some artillery coming in and actually kills it. So that's unfortunate. We probably should have brought these T-34s maybe up closer or on the left side here to get some shots. Yeah, I'm still learning that whole thing. We're still holding this area. We did lose this tank over here to a Pac 40. I don't think this is the one that gets the bailout in this, but I could be wrong. Yeah, the Pac 40 killed our other one. The martyrs here taking shots, but the issue with this is that these two just don't have the ability to dislodge that infantry. They just don't have it. And then they're sending artillery out here. We're gonna come in and test this A-20 ourselves against the Pac 40. We do lose sight for it a second, so we do pin it down. So this is something you can use against light, and I just figured that out. So I was like, okay, how fast can we retask it? We can't retask it fast enough, so I retask it, I think, like over here. It's not enough, so you need to loop it back around. And I do loop it back around, but the A-20 isn't going to make it that far. And we'll see it actually take down this. So it's only really a one pass type deal. It's going to end up evacuating. Our other tank was killed by this other Pac 40. That's when I noticed, okay, there's 2 or 3 pushing these side. We're going to come in with a P-39 with a couple of these. And the A-20 does get another attempt at it. The Hellcat with rockets. Okay. What is he playing as? The 1st Special Forces Brigade. Special Service. We come in, we kill that. So that one's good. We're keeping these P-39s in the ready. PF-109 is coming in. It kills our A-20. It is what it is. This T-34 still doing what it needs to do. Taking out the MG-42. And then we have this T-34. At one point, I think I brought up another T-34, or maybe someone quit in that T-34 came down. I have no idea. I don't think that's how it functions in this game, so maybe I brought up another tank and I didn't realize it. But it was quite hilarious because one of these tanks I didn't realize was actually something I'd brought in later. Smoke going down the left side. We're going to bring up this IS-2. Now this IS-2 is crazy. And then this one is the self-propelled artillery. Now we're gonna get a little wild here. This ends up being the one that spawns out here. So we're trying to see if we can take down this Pac 40. And we just do not have, maybe with a little bit more accurate fire. But it gets hit, bails out. It's taken out anyways by the 75mm howitzers. But yeah, supply has to be brought up with that, and well, supply in this game is definitely not like Warno. So I see all of these tanks coming through. I was gonna bring our IS-2 to like here to essentially hit everything in this general area that's coming across, but that's where we end up putting it up here instead. We're coming up another T-34. This one's the 1944 version with the 85. This thing can wreak a little bit of havoc, and then we're gonna need a lot of air coming in. So he's gonna come in with the Tempest. At first, it's not gonna be able to take shots because it's a bomb. We're gonna come in with the Cobra. We are not going to get those shots out, unfortunate. But this mosquito looks like it took a critical hit as well. It's bailed out. That's not helpful. The Stug's going to come out and just kill that. But the IS-3 actually was taking shots, which I thought was interesting. So maybe an infantry leader or some kind of leader up here. This might have helped. But yeah, we finally locked down this crossroad, which is what we wanted to do. So you have an infantry push onto this flag. And this gets a little bit hectic, but we hold our own here. Hellcat coming in with the rockets. Good rocket strike. We bring in our own Cobra with the rocket strike. We kill the Stug. Another Cobra in. Unfortunately, that's in between targets. We don't take out a tank. They get smoked down just in time from their mortars, their 81mm mortars back there. The IS-2 does not have a good line of sight, but I noticed he was going to move infantry on the left side, and I just wanted to hold this area. Now, the IS-2 is reloading here and acquiring targets. First shot misses. Our P-39 comes in. We force some of their tanks to fall back, which is a good start. Our spiraled out tank over here finally died. And then we lost this portion. So this guy ends up putting more on this side because it gets hectic over here. So I keep on funneling stuff over on the side. Another T-34 coming in. This Cobra wasn't able to take the shots. Here it goes coming in. Taking out one or two of those Panzers. There's still at least one more there. It's taken out by the Crusader AA, which is quite funny with the 40mm shells. There's still two of them there. Now we're going to cut off these tanks from actually reinforcing. IS-2 against the Panzer III. Yeah, that's not going to do anything. So that's dead. Panzer IV wants to come out and try to compete against this IS-2. He is still just out of range, which is quite funny. And then some of the smoke clears, and then that's done. I should have actually kept this IS-2 here and just had these T-34s deal with this. But yeah, I kind of move, expose my side to the T-34, or T-34, the Panzer IV. So it gets easy side shots, which is a bit unfortunate, but doesn't actually kill it, which is nice. The A-20, we're trying to do something with that. Those just don't work. Indirect fire comes in, and here's where the Panzer IV takes a shot through the trees, and then I just retreat this out. Our T-34 is up here. We're waiting for this Thessaloniki to come up, and we'll move it up into space. This was brought in, so our allies are going to reinforce that. I'm just pouring into this area at this point. So here comes our P-39s. I just want to put some rockets on target, which is not going to happen. But maybe we can overwhelm them a bit. That's not going to work. Try this Cobra on the anti-air, and that's not going to work. So with that in mind, we need to start using artillery, and that's what I'm going to do here in a moment. So our allies just come in, just reinforce this. This is the same guy that already has this shield, all this in here. So it was just an easy pivot to him. Panzer against a T-34. That's not going to work. Our transmission, though, is damaged. Assault engineers coming in with their flames and their heat shells. Assault engineers are really good. Achilles is going to come in from the side. Start taking some shots here. As now we're starting to see multiple people, 2 or 3. Our Katushka is going to come in. I wanted to kill that anti-air, and the Katushkas do a pretty good job of killing the 2 anti-air there and just freeing up our ability to come in and put some shots on target. I think one thing is with the artillery, I need to have less artillery and more supply. And then there's an 88 right here, which is killing our ability to put anything on target. It does kill our aircraft though, which kind of sucks. This IS-2 is finally recovered. They're slowly pushing through to retake the flag against Jaegers. Our T-34 here is damaged. I want to get some supply up to it. Unfortunately, we don't get some supply up to it fast enough. That 88 is a menace. So I'm gonna bring up another Katushka. And we're gonna hit this 88. Yeah, this Studebaker is trying to come up here and repair this T-34. Shots from this Achilles on the bridge. Insane angle. We actually bring up our IS-2 to try to deal with this flak. And it's ultimately destroyed there by the Tempest. So this IS-2 is just going to dominate the space. That's all what I want it to do. Cobra trying to come through. I'm not sure if we killed it, but ultimately that's too much, so we're just going to hit it with a Katushka. But with this IS-2 sitting here, that unfortunately gets killed by this 81 mil, it was holding the spot. Rip my IS-2. But rip their infantry and their flak, because here comes the Katushka. This will at least force them to retreat out some of those units. Or they have a pretty difficult time of doing stuff. Here's our Strelki Kameradi. It'll help with that. Some leadership. And then here is some sappery. So just want to bring in some leadership for these guys so we're a little bit better for our allies. And just gonna post it around and allow them to do their thing. Actually having a commander in there would be even better. But yeah, I didn't realize about commanders. Now I've learned since last episode. This Achilles right here can somehow see that Stu. Don't ask. I don't know how, but he can. So our ally here pushes up across the water, put some pressure on here, because we have them kind of funneled along this bridge pretty well. Everywhere else, pretty much held in hand here. This was the push that they were trying to do, collapse the left side. The M110 here, blasting these 76.2 shells against the flak. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. It's a tank destroyer here. I'm going to keep moving around this commander to make sure that these guys have a bit of command around and we're not putting our commander at any risk. And that really helped in their ability to deal with a lot of these tanks, the Stugs and everything. Somehow the Stug doesn't see the Strelky. Don't ask me how. It just doesn't. Stug gets hit, armor cracked from a 6.6 mil heat round. And here it is. We're gonna come in and just do hits on their anti-air. Two good strikes there. This Tiger, I wanted to hit it. We lost sight of it. The Hellcat, though, just misses it. This Cobra's going to loop back around and hit their anti-air. Because I want their IL-4s to actually go through. We still don't kill it, though. And now we're just trying to deal with their anti-air at this point. Tempest comes in, good bomb strike. This Tiger being hit by a tank destroyer and not being killed is crazy. Typhoon comes in, kills it. At this point, our entire team's air force is coming down and just bombing. Blitz now coming in. Like this. Then the Tempest comes in. It's that. And then we come in. Try to hit it as well, but kind of knocked off with the fighters. Just pop back around. We see him moving, I guess a spot. We don't kill anything, which is unfortunate. But we've retaken this area. Bring another IS-2. Bring another T-34. Slowly just keep on pushing. Mosquito now coming in. And we're just in artillery strikes. Panzer Grenadier's dead. Tiger gets shot by our T-34. Now this T-34 is a commander. And it's gonna super buff everything. Which means it's also gonna be the first target and I need to realize that. Coming with another P-39. Our Katushkas are just up and ready. 25 seconds left though, it's not gonna matter. And we just... It was a great fight on the side. I'm learning more and more how the game works. Everything else was a pretty much just a domination in multiple other ways. We take this flag, just a little insult to injury, and then we take this win. An intense, crazy fight. We're under 1 KD, but that will happen. Not great, I want to say, with our initial tank push. This T-34 did some work there. But this IS-2, the Stug, a couple Panzers, that was big. The T-34 combat here had a Tiger that took down. So not the greatest, and our air didn't do as much as I thought it did in this game, like when I was actually playing it. Well, a couple of key things. This Pack 40, the Stug 3 were big. Katushka is just essentially made them mad more than anything. So yeah, that tends to happen. And then yeah, the losses. All right, so thanks for hanging out. Go and leave a like below, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next Seal Division 2 multiplayer game. Later, guys.